Warning! This podcast contains a cliffhanger.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the E13 on TV podcast for Riverdale Season 1, Episode 13, Chapter 13, The Sweet Hereafter. This is the season finale, guys. And Season 2 is coming. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this episode, I'm just going to say, any of our speculations for the next season, please leave it until the end of what we're talking about. So that we have a little bit more coherent speculation rather than all over the place. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
Who are we?
We are Riverdale?
I'm Dom.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. First, we have Jake, and then we have Kim, and then we have Dom, and me.
Hi. We have
Hi.
Jake. Oh, there's Jake.
Oh, he's a serpent.
I like it.
It looks so good.
Y'all see my tattoo?
It's real. It's real. He inked it himself.
Yeah, specifically for this show.
That's awesome. You gotta get a good picture of that and throw that up on Facebook or something.
Oh yeah.
Or the
I'll do that right now.
Or the Twitter or the Snapgrams.
The twatters, the twerkers, and
yeah.
Space.
I loved this episode.
Oh my goodness. I mean, in the very beginning of Riverdale, I did have my doubts because it just seemed to be one of like a teenage drama mystery kind of thing, where it was kind of sidelining along with like the same genre as Pretty Little Liars. And if you watched any of our other podcasts, you'd know that I'm not a fan of Pretty Little Liars, even though I still watch it. But it grew into its own beast, and this episode definitely proved it.
Yeah.
So,
Jughead.
We'll get to him. We're going to start off with the heroine that was in the maple jars were actually from Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in Montreal?
The guys that were hired to smash and do things with Fred's equipment on the construction site. Mm-hmm. So there's a connection. So it wasn't Hiram, it was Clifford.
And it was also stated that the death of the serpent, I forget his name now.
A Mustang.
Was Clifford, and the bag that was left was Clifford trying to frame. So
Hiram.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got Jughead saying in his his intro to this episode that, and he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those pesky group of, and that is such a Scooby-Doo reference.
Guys, I keep telling you, Scooby-Doo gritty reboot.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be live action. I think they're going to do that. They're seeing that Riverdale's doing so well, and they're going to hopefully bring in Sabrina.
Only if they get Billy Loomis's buddy to continue to voice
oh my God.
Shaggy.
Because he still does.
I know.
So, and
I mean, if it's live action though.
Well, I don't know.
Still play him. I don't care.
I know his face is getting kind of droopy, and
yeah, definitely too much. What they do when they get the or after they get the munchies. It's before that,
Shaggy did not have the munchies. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I heard that reference and I immediately thought of Jacob saying, "Oh, there's going to be a reboot," and I'm like, I hope so. Because...
And I will be Shaggy.
They could get the guy who plays Billy Loomis's friend to be Shaggy's father.
To be Shaggy's father, because little fun fact that's not related to Riverdale at all.
No.
But in Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which was the reboot that happened like 3 years ago, Matthew Lillard finally took over. That's Billy Loomis's friend. Finally took over the voice of Shaggy after playing him in the live-action movies, and Casey Kasem, who voiced the original Shaggy, was his father in that series. Mm-hmm. So do that. Scooby-Doo writers that don't exist.
And just to clarify for anybody who's really confused right now, Billy Loomis is
FP.
FP.
Yeah, he's Jughead's dad.
Yeah. Scream, you guys. Scream references.
Scream references. Speaking of FP, even though he's been cleared of the murder, he's like, I'm not talking, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to serve my time because I deserve it. And I think I heard 20 years, even for stuff he's done.
Well, he's still accessory to murder.
Okay, yeah, because he had to clean up the mess and everything, and he's not saying any names. So, yeah, so Jughead's not too pleased. He's still trying to tell his dad, like, try to get his dad to say, snark a little bit. But we find out that he's never going to snark, and it kind of, I don't know if it works in Jughead's favor or if Jughead just thinks it does, because what happened near the end of the episode.
He just kind of like accepted his fate. I think that's what he just decides that this is his fate and he just needs to roll with it. And giving into his darker side, as his dad called it.
I think the Southside Serpents are like family, or at least they're becoming family, because he's been around them his whole life.
Right.
And I think now that his dad is gone, the Southside Serpents kind of need like a face to like represent them. And so, someone who they can turn to. And I don't think they can I don't think Jughead's going to be the leader of the Southside Serpents, but they're like, hey, it's in your blood. Mm-hmm. So accept it. And I think he is accepting it, but I think he's accepting it more as, you are like my family. I guess he kind of feels obligated to also.
I don't know if the face that he made after he put on the jacket was like an obligation smile. That was him like loving every second of it.
Like, you saw him in the school. He was shit over there.
Yeah, he's fitting right in.
And he looked damn good in that jacket. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, I mean, he didn't have his jacket on or anything on before that.
Oh no.
No, because and I'm sad that was interrupted. But
because of course.
Jughead was all over the place this episode. Like, I felt really bad for him because, it started off, he's still, he's mourning over the loss of his dad. I mean, his dad isn't dead, but he's not going to have him around. He might as well be at this point because he's going to be spending years and years in jail.
And then he just got over his mother not wanting him.
Exactly.
We don't know if she doesn't want him. She probably doesn't.
She basically said that over the phone from the one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's why that's the whole going to school.
Who's to say he didn't even call his mom? He didn't call his mom. He was just talking to himself.
But this is what this has become. It's acceptance, which is what he's been wanting, and that's what all of this is, and that's why
he's still pushing Betty away.
Yeah.
Like, he still has his doubts with Betty, even though Betty's like, "No, I'm there for you, no matter what." He says he doesn't want to disconnect from her, but he's making all these choices where he just wants to be left alone. It seems like something he would have done in the past, but he's doing it on a grander scale because he feels like he needs to turn his life around not for the better, just for him to feel like he's not a hindrance on everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. But he is living with a new family.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And they haven't
said they're nice.
They haven't said anything, but I'm hoping it's Sabrina.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
What is Sabrina doing on the south side? What are you doing?
We don't know.
I mean, they could be in the vicinity of the south side school. Doesn't mean they're actually living in the south side. Or, I mean,
they could change things a little bit and put Sabrina here.
But Greendale is on the other side of the river.
Just because Greendale was in her comic doesn't mean she has to live there on the show.
Interesting thing that I do want to bring up about Greendale is the creators of the show have said that the difference between Greendale and Riverdale is that Riverdale is like fucked up, but it's relatively human. But Greendale is more mysterious, and a lot more strange things happen over there. So I just think that's a little clue
Like, that's
for
just
us.
like the supernatural.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest, if this show was on any other network than the CW right now, and I'm only saying this because the CW has a very, very full plate,
Mm-hmm.
I would totally be expecting a Greendale spinoff series. But there's
And
no
with
way the CW
crossovers?
could make it work, yeah. There's
I
no
mean,
way with their schedule they could make it work. They have way too many
no.
shows going on right now.
That's true. And like, especially they have brought in a couple new shows because, we had the Vampire Diaries fade off, and there's a couple other shows, and like Rain ended. This is their last season. So, there's a couple spots open, but I think they've already filled them. But it would have been nice to have a Greendale spinoff, to do things like they're doing on The Flash and Legends and Arrow, where they could have those crossover episodes to keep you engaged in both series.
Yeah.
But
Because especially dealing with the supernatural, it feels like it would be weird here in Riverdale to bring that over there. I mean, we got a
Like,
little glimpse of it. The comic book that FP was reading in jail was Sabrina's, one of her most recent. She was like the narrator in that comic book. So it's kind of like a throwback or nod to her in there. But I don't know, because we dealt with, and Nikkie's going to be able to testify this, 'cause she's the only other one that dealt with this. We had on Pretty Little Liars, they visited this town called Ravenswood, and it seemed really cool when they visited it on the show on Pretty Little Liars when they went to this town. Then they made a spin-off for this town. It's exactly the same thing. This town was mysterious, and it dealt with the supernatural, and it was all... But when they ended up doing their own series on it, it just wasn't done right, and it felt really weird.
I think that's because coming from Pretty Little Liars, going into the supernatural scene that they did, without any pretense, without any background or lore or any kind of like history like we have here with Sabrina and Riverdale, Ravenswood felt out of place.
Yeah, so, I mean, if they did a spin-off, it would go one of two ways. It would either be really, really good, or it would be really, really bad, and there would be no in-between.
I think people would give Greendale, say that the spin-off series, a better chance because of all the previous things related to Sabrina in the past. So, yeah. But yeah.
Would it become more of another Sabrina, like, I forgot what my train of thought was going in there.
Like Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina? No.
No, obviously it would be darker because
Yeah.
it would stay in this what the position they've gone this way. It's going to be dark. So it's going to be more like the comic books than it would be.
Yeah, it would remind me a lot of the other like CW witch shows that they tried doing recently that just have not worked too well. So that's why I don't even know if a spinoff is necessarily the right way to go, because CW did I'm pretty sure CW did it, The Secret Circle, and that failed
they
after
did
a season.
Secret Circle.
And that's kind
Not
of the
right
similar
away.
thing.
I don't think it would fit right away. They'd have to establish Sabrina first before they went off into a spinoff. But I mean, Sabrina, the supernatural stuff doesn't have to be in Riverdale to make strange things happen, because there's so much going on. Like,
but how crazy would it be though if it turned out that Sabrina is Jughead's family? Like that adopted him. Like, I think that'd be pretty crazy. Because I'm thinking that the whole time, because I was waiting through this whole episode. I'm sitting there going, come on, Sabrina. And I'm sitting and we're getting down to the very, very end. And I'm like, we still don't know who his family, like who adopted him. We still don't know this. And I'm like hanging on the edge of my seat going, it's gotta be Sabrina, because I'm still expecting her. And she never showed up. So I don't know. It's still in my mind.
No, and we'll talk about that later, because there was a statement made about Sabrina, but strange things, and there was so many of them this episode, and we had Hiram's coming back magically, even though he's been like fraud and stuff. Like, is it parole? I don't even know.
He got out? Like they
out.
acquitted, like they acquitted him or something?
I guess so, but like that
To make room for the other fucking criminals in this town.
Yeah, and what was strange to me was how Hermione just flipped. She just flipped so much. It's like she's a completely different character now.
I will save that for speculations later.
Okay. But like, she's she's on a power trip this episode, like big time. She's pushing Fred into selling his half of the project, and she's on Ronnie's ass, and she's being
she wants Ronnie's ass on something else.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, she was trying to force Ronnie to talk to Archie, to talk to Fred about No, she wanted Ronnie to tell Archie to tell his dad to sell the business.
She wanted Ronnie to sleep with Archie.
She literally was pimping out her daughter.
Yeah.
She was pimping out her daughter.
I mean,
she made it very clear. She was all like, yeah, use your body to get what we want. And it was like,
that's what we lodges do.
What kind of mother are you?
She was one of the better parents on the series, and all of a sudden, that's why I'm like, she just flipped. Like, I don't know who she is anymore. I thought I knew that she was a decent parent. She had her fraudulency and passing out, like she did a little criminal stuff on the side, but she was still like a good mother to Ronnie. But not anymore. Like, what the fuck happened? Hiram is coming back, but apparently they were on the outs before he went into prison. But now it's like she just wants to bend over backwards and then put her head through her leg and
yeah.
Be a pretzel.
I have some speculation with this too, which I will leave to you.
Okay. And with all of that, with Ronnie being salted.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just like Veronica.
Yeah.
She's really salty.
Veronica is just like, she's super paranoid about everything. She's paranoid about her dad. She's paranoid about Betty's feelings, Archie's feelings, and a bunch of other things too. And she's trying at the same time. She's trying to be helpful with Cheryl and with Archie when it comes to his problems. And it's like, you've got enough on your plate with your dad and your mom. And I that whole like lodge dynamic that's coming together is, I don't know. Do you guys see it too? It's just,
I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Hermione now, because I loved her. Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved her because she was an amazing mom. And now I'm like, what the fuck? Your daughter's like 15.
Yeah.
Are they that young?
They're sophomores.
They're sophomores.
Yeah,
okay.
So 15, 16, they're right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I hope. Did you have that talk with your daughter about go to Walgreens or something? You need to pick up some things.
No, she was just so like.
Yeah. It was disgusting, is what it was.
I think Fred's a better parent.
Even after even this, like, at this point, Fred's better than Hermione, but he's still not the greatest at all. In any not in any respect at all. Like,
all the parents are shit. Let's just be honest. Except for Sheriff Keller, you're terrible in other areas.
It's a good thing Sabrina doesn't have parents.
She has aunts. That's close enough.
No, it's different.
But her aunts are awesome.
I hope they are.
I mean, one of them's going to be Melissa Joan Hart because I said so.
And one of them's going to be Miss Grundy.
That'd be an interesting way to bring Grundy back.
and then we'll be all like, "See, we told you so."
Betty is still on a rampage, and she's still like doing that thing where she digs her nails into her palms. Like,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with Betty.
Really?
Really wrong.
I don't see it.
I think there's
Did you
wrong
guys?
with everything.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
there was that one scene where she's putting on her makeup. Did you guys think the same thing? That
What?
Dark Betty was coming back. We were gonna see Dark Betty.
Okay, good. I was glad that I'm not the only one who thought, because I was like,
She's putting on the mascara, and I'm like, are we gonna get a Dark Betty scene? But no, we weren't.
Well, all I could think about was CoverGirl and how, I want to thank CoverGirl for bringing us this show.
I gotta say one thing. I'm glad that they don't like flaunt it too bad within the show.
Yeah.
I'm watching this this Korean, and that's not Korean. It's Taiwanese drama, and it is so supported by Samsung. It's not even freaking funny. Like, they literally bring. I don't have it on my phone is right now, but even in the intro, it's like they put the phone and they make sure you can see the big Samsung.
Yeah. A lot of shows do that, and you don't even realize it most of the time with, like, Apple. A lot of iPhones and Apple laptops, you see a lot in that. But Apple is, like, a kind of subliminal brand because it's not, like, a name. It's just a logo.
It's a symbol.
Yeah.
But I definitely notice in shows and stuff like that. Because you notice watching shows like The Big Bang Theory, for example. Anytime you see cereal, the box is sideways or backwards or, whatever. You don't see the front of the box. Very, very rarely will you get a glimpse of it. And usually when you do, it's, like, blurry, like it's out of focus in the background or something like that. But then you get a TV show like Fringe was one that I watched a lot. And you could always see Pepsi, they're drinking a bottle of Pepsi, and it's like the logo is facing the camera every time they drink it.
Oh no, I am thirsty.
Yeah.
That was everywhere. I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I like the joke.
You know
and
what?
that gets on my nerves.
Poltergeist, you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We do a lot of, promotion without any help from the actual things all the time. Like, you seen me, I think it was last week, I'm sitting there drinking a Pepsi, like,
Well, I don't think we don't think about it, which I think is funny. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of movie stars.
Excuse me, guys. I'm thirsty. I got this Gatorade from the store. I'm gonna drink it. It's really great. I'm so parched right
what
now.
I'm saying is
I'm
that
going to
maybe we
drink
should.
it, and I'm going to drink it with my Elvira Pop. Elvira is amazing. Do you guys know about Elvira?
Can't even do it. Can't even drink.
Hey guys, I'm about to have a drink, so cheers.
Oh man. I mean, I didn't even notice it really. I just noticed that she was putting on makeup, and I got super excited because I thought we were gonna have another bipolar incident with Betty, which she kind of does with her mom later on in the episode. Like, she gets really, really defiant with Alice, and
it was good. I love it. And we get that little tidbit. We finally find out about we thought it was an abortion. Well, we find out it wasn't an abortion.
he
So
actually was born.
There's a brother somewhere, an older brother,
Archie.
little Chick. No, his name is Chick.
Archie.
Yeah, no, not Archie.
No, it's definitely not Archie.
Archie's too young.
Yeah,
That would explain the red hair.
mid-20s.
It'd explain the red hair.
No, you're wrong.
Because
It does-
technically they're blossoms.
The blossoms. Yeah.
But they're blonde.
Yeah.
But they're blonde. The
Strawberry
blonde
blonde.
blossoms.
I think they got the blonde from Alice because she's not born a blossom. She's a Southside lady.
The dad is.
Yeah. Well, the dad is not.
He's got like dirty blonde.
Yeah.
He's dirty blonde.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out to me that this show, all the families have like segregated hair.
They do.
And it's like you have the Blossoms are all redheads. You have the Coopers are all blondes. You have the Lodges are all like jet black hair. It's just like the families all have like segregated hair.
Except Archie and his dad. His
Right.
dad's
So
hair is
but
like
that,
Mary-
and that was
but Mary's
pointed out
redhead.
too. And it was like, is Archie actually their kid? But yeah. But
Mary's
his
very
mom's-
much a redhead.
much red.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she came from that town too. So, is she a blossom?
Oh, let's not
She could
get into
very
that.
well be a blossom, and they don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody in this town is Blossom. They just don't know.
That is no.
Everybody's related to everybody. They just don't know.
That reminds me of my hometown. It's not nice.
No
Really.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Small towns just have that going for them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, we found out that, FP was right. He held that over Alice and Hal, and, Betty tuned into that, and she's like, you gotta frickin' tell me, because I'm done with this BS.
I have a brother and you don't tell me.
Yes. So she's
And where is he? Where is he? Is he in the military? Is he a secret agent? Because he was in the comics. Can we have that, please?
Maybe he is. Maybe he comes to town, to investigate what happened at the end of this episode.
He's already in the town.
He's already, yep. Maybe. And
Maybe he's Santa Claus.
Maybe.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
And then, we
What
have...
is that?
The hell?
It's a powder joke.
Yeah. And then we have Betty's speech at the what was it, Jubilee, the fundraiser? What was 75th anniversary for the founding of Riverdale?
Mm-hmm.
That speech, though, like, you saw the mayor's face. She was like, well, I'm going to pull you off that stage by your hair. You shut the hell up. But she got it out. She got all the words out. And it was actually very inspiring for the town.
Yeah.
Town
loved it.
So, yeah.
I mean, she wasn't. She was calling people out, but she wasn't calling people out.
Yeah, she was saying that we're all an issue in this town, and we all need to do better. Like, I think the three things that I pulled out of her speech was the truth is too ugly, we need to do better, and we are Riverdale. Like, she pointed out people like Jughead is Riverdale. She even said FP is Riverdale. She's like, but that's this town. We just have to be better. Yeah. And it was very like straightforward. She definitely got her point across.
Well, I don't know why Mrs. Mayer would even put Sandra Dee up there. You knew this shit was going to happen. And so, and I love when she tries to get Jughead to go up there with her. And Mrs. Mayer bitch, she's like, I like Jughead. She couldn't even throw up the words.
No. It was just, she doesn't. Just because he's FP's son doesn't mean he's as bad as the bunch of that what's happened. Like,
but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
I guess that's where Josie gets her friggin' attitude. I wonder that maybe that's why, like,
I'm sitting there when
was okay this episode.
When the Pussycats went on stage, and I'm like, all right, so now we have this awkward thing between Archie and his girlfriend
Melody
up there.
Valerie.
Or Valerie, his ex-girlfriend.
But it wasn't really.
It wasn't, but like that's what I'm thinking. And then I turn and I see Veronica up on stage. I'm like, is she still a pussycat? Like, what the hell is going on right now? And then she was not doing anything up on stage. I think she sung backup for one line, and then she sat there and played tambourine or something.
She was all googly-eyed at Archie.
Yeah.
She was googly-eyed at Archie.
I was like, if you're gonna perform.
I think she just invited herself up on stage at that point.
But she didn't know that they were gonna do a song, and so she's like, well, I don't understand. So she didn't know the words.
But it's Archie's song. She should know all of Archie's songs. It's her boyfriend.
No, but I doubt she does. I doubt she listens to that shit. She probably just smiles and nods whenever he plays. Valerie, why was Valerie off to the side? Just by herself?
Playing the piano.
Like
she was on the piano.
Yeah, but everyone else is over here. Even Archie's closer to the Pussycats, and she's all the way over there because, was there something that happened? Is like Valerie being shunned? I don't understand. And Melody wasn't on drums. What?
Yeah, the stage composition was odd, that's for sure. But I mean, I think I know why Melody wasn't on the drums is because Archie's song didn't have drums. It's all guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And piano. And la 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 la.
Piano too.
Yeah.
Because
it was no Kids in
Valerie
America.
No, he had Valerie in mind when he wrote this damn song. I like how Valerie doesn't say anything about Archie and Veronica. Doesn't even comment on it because you know what? Valerie's like, fuck you, Archie. I honestly don't give a shit about you, so I don't need to say anything to you. Bye.
Yeah.
Valerie, I
I
love
mean,
you.
There was
Valerie.
not even an exchange of glances, not an exchange of words. They just like,
Nope.
let's ignore the fact that they ever dated.
Because Archie is irrelevant.
Archie was an asshole, and she's over it.
Yep.
Yeah. She's like, you don't exist to me, so I'm going to treat you as such.
I would
They're
have just liked
being
the scene.
adults for once.
I would have just liked the scene going, let's be professional about this, whatever. And then it was just like, very, very short mutual agreement, something that they're just going to move on and do their thing. And there's no like bad blood.
Hard feelings.
It's just like, we can't be together, but we could perform. It's fine. Like a little scene, 2 words would have been fine. Even a look, like a nod to each other would have been fine,
Yeah, but then you're asking, a typical teenage girl to let go of a grudge.
Seems
And
legit.
that it doesn't usually happen like that at all.
But Valerie is mature. Valerie is awesome. She's the best person in this town, I swear.
I thought it was Jughead.
Jughead, you got some problems, Jughead.
Yeah, he's got issues to work
you
through.
go and you go off on Betty way too many times. He's good. He's a good person, but he's still human, and he's got some demons that he needs to exercise.
Yeah,
And I think he's gonna fall off the deep end.
one of our other ASOTV member podcast people, Cleo, she was excited to find out that Riverdale is actually being added to Netflix this week, because that's the deal the CW has is week after their show. She goes, oh, and I could binge watch because I've been waiting. She goes, I'm just going to binge it all at once. And I said, I'm not going to ruin anything for you. I go, but there's one character that I know you're going to like. And she goes, well, let me guess. And she goes, Jughead. Because she's seen, some previews or whatever. And I go, yeah. And I go, the reason being, he's the realest motherfucker on this show. And Cleo goes, the CW always has one of those. And they're always her favorite character. So
It's just, Jughead's story this whole episode was kind of tragic. And then, you could see him breaking down. And, I think it all started, it really made him start making the choice was when he saw the social worker and we heard about why he couldn't stay with the Andrews, why he couldn't stay with Archie and Fred.
Get the fuck out of that house.
Yeah,
I don't.
Fred, he couldn't stay with Fred because Fred had a DUI in his history.
And Fred hates you.
that too.
Yeah. I don't think Fred hates him. He just doesn't want him around.
Worried. He's worried. He's just worried for Archie. Then it's, as a parent, it makes sense.
Even if your child is,
He would have bowed the wrong way. He
stupid.
said the wrong stupid shit, and yes, Archie is a tool half the time. But
they're both tools.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Jughead. I will always love Jughead. Jughead will forever be my favorite character on the show.
He's not my favorite, but I do love him. He's in my top 3.
I think he's my favorite until Sabrina comes along.
No, he's behind Kevin, and he's behind. There was one extra. There's one extra that I saw in the background, and I swear I want to know the backstory of this character. I don't know why, but whenever I watch a show, there's always one extra that knows that they're an extra, but they're like, I'm gonna make this the best motherfucking part that I possibly can with the little screen time that I have. So, and I always think of a story in my head for these people.
That just reminds me what it's Phantom of the Opera, and it's like the beginning of the scene. There's one guy that's just super extra, like he is just ridiculous. He makes the biggest faces and shit, and I'm like, you're acting like you're on the stage version of Phantom of the Opera, and I'm like, you're amazing.
But this extra I'm talking about is Melody.
He's called her an extra.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. She pulled that performance off pretty good just for backup singing not playing the drums. Oh gosh. But I lost where I was at.
We were distracted by the extra.
We were. Yeah. I'm just gonna. I think. Okay. We were talking about Jughead again, because Jughead is all our boo.
Mm-hmm.
But we have FP telling Archie, because Archie went to visit FP in jail, and he said to Archie, "You have to stick by Jughead no matter what. He needs you," which is good. But why Archie? Well,
Archie's been his best friend.
I know.
Yeah.
I
I don't
know.
know why.
But then we have the whole deal with the FP telling Archie to Jughead, and then Betty writing the article for the innocence of FP, like saying he wasn't the killer, and and it got defaced with pig's blood.
Mm.
Where the fuck does someone get pig's blood in this town? And where the fuck do you find the
Riverdale.
time to do this in the middle of the school without anybody
Exactly.
seeing you?
Oh, people find time to do all kinds of shit at school. But
I mean, it's just we have with Alice back with Hal working back at the Register, which is the town newspaper, and then they're turning down Betty's article, so she just posted herself with the blue and gold, and then the reason why Allison wanted to post was because the serpents are the target right now because of the way he's been portrayed to the whole town, and she didn't want the target on Betty's back. But that's not really what's going on, right?
It said serpent slut. Now, we would assume this is Betty, but Jughead wasn't a serpent yet.
Mm-mm.
And it's not really well known that he is a serpent, even if he was.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is talking about Alice.
Yes, because she used to live on the south side. She used to be a serpent.
But not only did she used to live on the south side, they never say that she is a serpent, but I think she is. And if she wasn't, then she was a serpent slut.
She doesn't have to be a serpent to be a serpent slut.
Exactly.
well, I
She
think
just has to sleep with a lot of serpents.
Which is why I'm questioning, about this baby, whether or not it's Hal's.
Yeah.
Well, it obviously was hinted at that there was a relationship between her and FP.
Mm-hmm.
And we are for sure that she was from the south side. Continuously, there's been some weird moments between her and FP. So it's totally plausible.
They had a thing. He called her hot at one point, so.
And I can't ever think of his name half the time. Betty's dad, Hal made a big deal about him being the one to take her away from the south side.
Mm-hmm.
That raise her up, kind of like,
Well,
Yeah.
she's still gangsta, so it didn't work.
Yeah, the way she packs. Jeez.
and throws a brick through her window.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
Take
The way
the girl
that
out of
she
the
just
south
has-
side,
she
but you
just
can't
has a
take the south
gun.
side out of the girl.
Yep.
She just has a gun in her pocket.
Mhm.
I just like to think she just keeps the gun around, no matter what the occasion
She's
is.
got like strapped like somewhere.
It's on her thigh.
On her thigh, on the inside of her thigh.
Whoa!
Nobody likes to reach there.
That's how you hide things when you go into concerts. In between your boobs, because no one ever goes there.
Well, isn't that where girls keep their money?
I don't do that. It's gross. It's a little sweaty.
Yeah. You don't know where your money's been. Like somebody could have like rolled it up and did cocaine with it. You don't want that shit up in your boobs.
No, like cameras and stuff. I've sneaked cameras into concerts.
You put cameras in there?
Oh, but up underneath because no one touches there.
How the fuck did we get
There
to
is
this
not
conversation?
there is not a security guard that is going to
Because we were
fill you
talking
up.
about Alice strapping with a gun. That's
But then we started talking about boobs.
Well, we start with talking about
hiding
places where people.
Speaking of putting things in boobs,
touch.
What?
Where's that gonna go?
I want to see where this transition goes.
Yes. Nice segue. Where's it going now?
Down the street. The cop's riding the Segway.
I mean, it could lead on to what Cheryl's trying to hide, but hint to people. Like, she was trying to say goodbye to a lot of people and apologize this whole episode.
I wonder why.
Because her mom was like stupid, made her want to kill herself, which she tried. She really
her
tried.
mom just kind of decided to ignore shit, like whatever. And she's like, "You hated him," and she's like, "You might have been a piece of crap, but it was still my dad."
Yeah. So it like they definitely had nothing to do with Cliff's murder. Like Cliff hung himself. Like we're going back and forth.
I think Mrs. Blossom had something to do with it. She just seems unaffected by any of this.
I feel like she's the powerhouse in that household, and she said, "Okay, Cliff, you go do this. Like, you go do it. Just go." And she seemed like she was taken aback last episode. I mean, she probably mourned a little bit because it also came to a shock to her that Clifford was the one that killed her son. So
but because of that, she would totally tell him, "Go fucking hang yourself, or I will do it for you."
I think so too. I think Penelope is, very capable of being like, "Do this now," and Clifford would have listened. I don't think so.
I think it comes down to Cliff was just like, I can either be ashamed and stay in jail for the rest of my life for murdering my son, or I take the easy way out. And he just took the easy way out. Like, that seems more of a Blossom thing to do, because Cheryl's following in her footsteps, or his footsteps.
Yeah, I completely expect Clifford for him to do this.
Yeah.
I just don't think he did it. I just think, and maybe this is me. I watch too much TV. I just think that Penelope, just with the way she's acting, that she had something to do with it.
I don't think so. I think she's just numb to she's just like heartless.
I see both ways. I don't know about heartless. I think she hardens herself because she's gonna be like the patron of the family or whatever because she's the only one left.
I think she always was the.
I think so too.
Matriarch of the family.
So I think that's just her personality. It's just like, well, he shamed us.
I do. I did like the Jughead narration at the beginning when he mentioned the cliffhanger, and I was like, really? Like, I did not think of that pun last episode. I was so like ashamed of myself for not coming up with that, and I was like, damn it, Jughead, you beat me to it.
Of course you would. I mean, I'm glad Jughead did it, because if you would have said something like that last episode, I probably would have tried to reach through my screen and slap you. At least with Jughead doing it, I can accept it and be like, all right, that's a little bit of clever writing on their part.
So they could do the exact same thing that I would have done, and they would have been clever, and I would have got slapped. I see.
Yes.
I see how it is.
Well, because you ain't getting paid for this shit.
And it's coming out of Jughead's mouth. There's nothing wrong. Nothing Jughead does is wrong.
Well,
I mean,
it's cute when he does it.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, Jughead was
when
wrong.
He berades Betty.
Yeah. He was wrong when it came to the ice. I mean, when they first try to save Cheryl.
Oh yeah.
Like, they all try to go on the ice at the same time, and they just hear it crack, and Jughead's like, "No, we can't all go on the ice." And then she's just
you all go on the ice.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was concentrated. They all took like the step at the same time in the exact same spot, so that's why I think he did it. But when they ran out, they were kind of staggered.
Yeah, and they were more wide, like they were spread out more too.
And they were running, so it wasn't a full impact.
But did any of you cringe when you saw the blood going on the ice as Archie was punching?
No.
Like,
I was like, Kool-Aid.
I don't know why when things get like when people mess up their hands or like,
because you're an artist.
Maybe it is like a subconscious.
He broke his hand, but you didn't get to hear anything snap or whatever. But it was all adrenaline.
Broke his hand.
It was all adrenaline.
Yeah. But like,
Uh,
I saw the blood. I saw like his knuckle all grungy, and I'm just sitting there like, oh gosh,
well, I
why
think it's
does that bug
because
me?
I think because bloody hands are more effective. When you like imagine like if you see blood on a knife, it's not as cringy as blood on hands. Because and I think it's because hands are like so human, and you know that saying, like I know I know you like the back of my hand. You know that saying, right?
No.
It's like when you like, and when you see it, you're like, oh my god, I can feel it.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with. If you would have heard bone snapping, that would have made me cringe because that's a noise I don't like.
I mean, we heard the ice snap, like crackling and stuff
Oh,
like
that
these
wasn't the
mittens,
ice.
but
That wasn't-
But
Well,
maybe it was a
but-
combination of the two.
But
But just-
it didn't stand out. It wasn't like a crack or a snap. Like it wasn't a noise you literally like.
Wasn't a twig.
You couldn't feel it. Like noises like that, like broken bone and stuff. You can literally feel your body just
You're like, "Ugh."
the snap, and you're just like, ugh.
No, I've broken a bone in 3 places, and I never had that overwhelming like crack noise that you hear on TV. It wasn't like that at all.
Well, they're
Okay.
more dramatic with. But I mean,
for dramatic effect.
I've never broken any. I've cracked my ankle, and I've torn tendons.
Well,
I think is worse. Torn, hyperextended shoulders, yeah.
Tendons are there. That's a whole nother story. The hand didn't bother me that much.
Okay, you couldn't
but-
hear it over the dramatic music that was
But
playing.
side note, the movie.
I just like to think the music is playing in their minds.
The movie, I think it's 126 or 121 hours or something like that. With oh, why can't I think of his name? The Green Goblin's kid.
I can't think of his name right now. I know who you're talking about though.
I know who you're talking about.
Franco?
Yeah,
James
Frank,
Franco.
yes,
James Franco. He starred in that movie, and he got stuck hiking or something, and he cut his arm or something off with a dull pocket knife. And when,
Oh yeah, and you heard the tendons.
when
Oh yeah.
the
Oh,
noise, there's a noise. It's not like you hear the tendon. They make a noise to represent what it feels like.
Yeah.
And
The
that noise
snap.
went
It's-
right through me, and it made me literally sick.
It's like a rubber.
physically sick.
It's like a rubber band snapping.
It was
That's-
no,
that's-
it was worse. It was like a vibration kind of noise that just
It's
goes
kind
through.
of like it's
I
kind of
don't
like how some people have like they cringe when nails on the chalkboard or the sound of styrofoam. It's the same kind of cringy sound that people can't stand.
Well, I think there's certain sounds that bother certain people. Like I don't have a problem with like nails and chalkboard or anything.
No.
But there's certain like I said, bone snapping, like the tendon noise. I know what you're talking about because especially since I've messed up my tendons and that stuff in my body. My knees are all messed up, and I've hyperextended my shoulder, and I'm having it at times. But I don't like the sound of chainsaws for some reason.
Keep that
Oh,
in
don't
mind.
go to Universal during Halloween
But I
time.
think you knew that one, Dom, because I think that's the one time when we go to the haunted house and I get all like uncomfortable as shit.
Yeah.
I'll keep that
yeah.
in mind though.
No. I mean, that whole scene. She's going to be with Jason, and she just seemed so happy, and then all of a sudden, like she's just like serene. She's floating on the water. She's just accepting, and then she sees Jason, and she starts freaking out, and he's reaching for her. I was like, okay, is that a hallucination or is something
Yeah.
supernatural going on? That's where my head went. It was
Oh.
like,
Oh, like, is he a ghost?
is he a ghost? What's
zombie?
going on here?
Zombie.
I mean,
Afterlife with Archie, it's a thing.
yes, exactly. Jacob, like you mentioned it last episode that they did do a whole zombie apocalypse kind of comic book run, and so many things were through my head when she saw Jason. I was like,
The
oh,
only
God,
thing that
please,
was going
no.
through my head was she fell in, the current took her, they spread out, and then Archie stands in one spot and continues to punch, and the current just decided to stop taking her.
Well, see, because what happened was plot convenience. See, the script said that she had to stay in one spot in order to save her, so like that's what was happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
Well,
aware.
she
I'm
did
just-
also start to sink, and that current wasn't going that quickly.
no, it wasn't. Like, because she fell in, and then by the time they got her, she was only like a foot away.
And she stopped breathing. So at that point, your body going to get heavy, and it's going to start to, like I said, it started to sink. So the current wasn't that strong. I'd give them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt that she wouldn't have started to go too far. But you're right, she wouldn't have stayed in one spot.
Had she died, then the body would have been washed away because dead bodies float. Living bodies sink.
Yeah.
Once all the air would have went out of her body and she would have fully died.
Or Jason was blocking. Right.
You just have to train your body to do it. Like there is something called the dead man's float.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they did manage to save her.
Yeah, Archie, you're being fucking stupid. Even when you're trying to be heroic, you're fucking stupid. Fucking punch in the ice.
You have a foot.
You have a boot. Everyone.
He wasn't. It's not. There's no thought process. It's just adrenaline running and fucking do it.
I don't care.
Nobody else was gonna do it.
Your foot is 10 times stronger than your fist.
He wasn't thinking.
Veronica, don't you have like stilettos on or something? Just like.
I'm surprised she didn't like get stuck in the ice or something with those stilettos.
No shit.
Weird. But like,
I would have
speaking
used
of
my elbow. I would have used a million things before my fist.
You use your head before your fist.
I don't know about that.
I'm surprised Archie didn't do that.
Yeah.
I would have tried to just jump up and down on the ice and just fell through myself before trying to punch it.
Yeah, because that's gonna
that would save her.
I'm surprised Archie wouldn't do that either.
I was totally expecting Archie to jump in the hole that she fell through.
Oh, then swim after.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Archie just stupidly jumping up and down on the ice.
Throwing a temper tantrum. This ice won't break.
No, I see him enthusiastically jumping on the ice, kind of like when
he's like, guys, come on.
When you have that, when you have like those challenges on trampoline, like who can bounce the other person higher, like that enthusiastic like jump.
I'm surprised that Jughead didn't rip off his beanie and Archie did the Mexican hat dance around it on the ice.
Now you're just getting ridiculous.
Yeah. At this point, they're just doing the Macarena and not getting anything done.
You know what?
And then the electric slid into the hole.
Like
dances
all
aside.
these things, this is how Archie thinks, you guys. All the things that we are saying, this is how Archie thinks.
Wait, that's not like the chickie did.
That's what I was doing. And then they just all collapsed.
Oh my goodness.
Broke Kim.
Kim's down for the count. I mean, all dancing aside, they did manage to save her, but then, Veronica said, let me take her home till she feels better, and Hermione walks in and goes, why is she here?
I love your transition was all dancing aside.
Yeah. But yeah, Hermione was super, super bitch, and like every other time someone's been in trouble and Veronica's brought them home, she's been like, okay, but now that it's
not this bitch.
But Cheryl has nothing to do with her family's, shit like Clifford she has nothing. It's the same thing that Jughead's going through. Because FP did what he did doesn't mean Jughead is at any fault. And that's the same thing with Cheryl. And for adults to act that way to children just drives me up a wall. So this scene was another. See, this was another one of those scenes where I was like, what the hell happened to Hermione? Because beforehand, even knowing
she's
that
been
Cheryl,
in this town too long.
I guess so. And it's just beforehand, before episodes ago, she would have just welcomed Cheryl in and been like, okay, sweetie, do you need tea and stuff like that? And that wasn't the case. It was really disheartening. Yeah. And, it's obvious, you look at Cheryl, you walk in the door, you look at Cheryl, she's obviously been through something. Instead of being like, why is she here? She should have been like, oh my God, what the fuck happened?
She didn't barge in or anything. She was drowning. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Does that count for something?
And Veronica was there, patting her on the back. She had a freaking blanket over her. Her hair was still wet. Hermione, duh, connect the dots. But
Hermione's like, this bitch went swimming at night, and how dare she come into my house?
It's, uh, but then, the Cheryl goes home and she decides to burn down her mansion.
Mhm.
I was hoping that Penelope would stay inside and burn down with it, but that wasn't the
Guys,
case.
no. Do you know who wasn't out there? Nana
Clifford.
Rolls. No, Nana Rolls wasn't out there. Is she still in the house?
No, Nana Rolls
She even
is
still alive.
yes, she is. She's comfortably living in her fancy dancy seniors home where she, casts all the spells of she's got a couple twos and a three, and she doesn't have a royal flush in her hand, but she does a little magic, and then all of a sudden it's in her hand. She's winning all the things at the senior home.
Go fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but like that's all I was worried about. I'm like, to get fucking Nana Rolls out. When they panned out to the house and you see the house burning, I was expecting Nana Rolls to like bust out of the window and she's just flying off the bridge.
Like Gremlins?
Exactly.
No, like E.T.
You remember that scene in Gremlins with the lady on the motorized staircase thing, and then she just busts through the window?
And then she dies, but Nana Rolls wouldn't die because Nana Rolls is a badass. What Nana Rolls would do was she would just like power wheel herself through the window, and she would land perfectly onto the grass. She'd be fine.
Because she's a witch.
Maybe her
her wheelchair is her broom.
Yes.
Maybe her nursing home is in Greendale.
Maybe.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe.
I'm thinking of Hocus Pocus now, where they ride on other cleaning implements.
Like a vacuum.
Vacuum. That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, who was that? That was
That was
I
don't remember their names.
Neither do I.
Mary.
Was it Mary? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mary was the one that flew on the.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Except Nana Rolls maybe rides a Swiffer instead.
Nana Rolls.
No, Nana Rolls. She goes with her
She's
wheelchair.
got a flying wheelchair.
I like how you guys are calling her Nana Rolls too.
It's perfect.
I don't
And then
remember her
also-
name. That's the
Exactly.
only reason.
Her name is Nana Rose, but I call her
Okay.
Nana Rolls.
Rose, yes, Rose.
I think eventually we all just start using your nicknames.
Who, what?
Yeah.
Who?
Like, Sandra D and
I don't know who
Yes,
that is.
Sandra D.
Sunny Cabbage.
Dom is the only one that does this and doesn't get along. Like, doesn't roll with the rest of us.
I doesn't Nana Rose with the rest of you.
Cheryl's reasoning for burning down Thornhill was to purify their sins.
But now you bitches don't got no home.
Where are you gonna live now, huh?
She's fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, now her mom's gonna suffer, and I think she's okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
This every time she wears white, that's when she goes
Guys,
crazy.
yeah.
They're gonna move into the barn. They're gonna live in the barn with the cocaine in the.
No, it's heroin. There's drugs in that house, you guys. Like, everyone's gonna get all high.
The heroin is what was in the maple syrup. The cocaine is what is stored in the hay.
So it's official. Anytime that she wears white, something bad's gonna fucking happen.
Pretty much.
I mean, I knew that. I saw her weighing out her white dress and like, oh, something's gonna go down, and it was kind of like the same reaction I had to when I saw Betty putting on makeup. So, like, something crazy's gonna happen. But she's losing her mind. But I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I don't blame her. And then we get a flash to Archie and Veronica, and then we have Betty and Jughead simultaneously having their sexy times in opposite ends of the town.
Yep.
Veronica and Archie got their time, whereas Betty and Jughead didn't. We talked about it a little bit before when Jughead gets his jacket from the Serpent saying, we're family. Your dad didn't fess up for any of us. Thank you. Here, take this. You're one of us now, kind of thing.
Even though you didn't do anything, but
No.
here you go.
I'm aware the actors and actresses are not 16, but now knowing that they're portraying 16-year-olds, it makes it a little creepy to know that we're watching this.
Them doing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? At the beginning of the season, we had a 15-year-old, banging however old she was. She was probably like 80.
Yeah.
Like, we really don't know how old Trendy actually is.
No, she was definitely a teacher, so she had to be in her late 20s. Mid to late 20s. So,
Yeah, like 1920s.
Yeah, because she's one of those special kinds of witches. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just get paranoid every time I see a sex scene after watching Scream or any horror movie.
Any horror movie in general, yeah. I'm waiting to see. Now I would keep thinking about this. I really want to see. We find out later that Grundy was actually an old lady, and then Archie finds out. And he's like,
He's like, oh, I gotta go run through the car wash with my mouth open.
Oh man. Yeah, that'll be interesting if that actually comes to be, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it.
probably
Yeah,
not,
like
but I mean, it would be hilariously funny.
I just looked, and the actress who plays Betty is 20. So
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, Betty wasn't too impressed when she saw the smile and the, how Jughead was responding to putting on the jacket. She's like, dude, what's up? Don't do that.
That is
But
not
no.
sexy.
No, stop it. Stop. And he was just like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Like you saw that like, oh shit face on his face.
That
Like
you are sleeping on the couch, even though it's your couch.
there's no more sexy time for Jughead tonight. That's done. He done screwed that mood up by putting on that jacket.
See, I'd like to see Betty's darker side come out too. So they just because
we will get into that later. I think the last scene.
Betty's dark side with the serpent Jughead though would be fantastic.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll get to that. Last scene that
It is like Grease.
Last scene we're gonna talk about is when Archie gets out of bed with Veronica, goes to have breakfast with his dad, and he goes to the bathroom, and Pops is getting robbed.
And I was so worried for Pop.
Oh, so was I. I was like, no.
Not Archie. I don't give a fuck about Fred. Just like, you don't fucking hurt Pop Tate.
The way the scene was playing out, you saw Fred there like, oh shit, the gun was being pointed at him. You see Archie step in front, and I'm like, oh, did Archie get shot?
Yay!
And like,
No.
huh? And then I was like, oh, are they gonna leave it like this? Is this gonna be like the next? It is the next mystery for Riverdale. But I was like, are they gonna leave it at that? Like, leave it till season 2, episode 1 to show us who got shot? But they didn't. They revealed it, and it was Fred. And I was actually really, really upset because
I was upset too. Fucking Archie, you couldn't have stepped in front of your dad.
Well, it looked like he went to win, and then
He went
Fred
to.
got ahead of him.
Yeah. So it was probably like, yeah, Fred knew it was going to happen. It looked like Archie was stepping in front, and probably Fred like squeezed, like, pushed him out of the way, took the bullet inside.
Fred, you stupid ass! Why'd you do that?
But it seemed to be like it was all planned out because nobody else got shot, right?
Yeah.
Like, to leave it at that, it's like.
Well, I think the voiceover too said something about that it was planned or.
There's far more to it than.
He said it wasn't a coincidence.
It wasn't a coincidence, yeah. So that leads into next season saying that, Fred was meant to get shot. And then obviously, all our heads are going to go to, oh, well, Hiram, because, Fred didn't back out of the deal. He didn't sell off his bit. And, so that's where we kind of lead into season 2 was I did a little bit of research. It's just a little bit like highlights of the next season to come. Like it's just spread out throughout the whole season. Luke Perry is confirmed to come back for season 2. So he's okay for now.
See,
he's alive.
But I like going in now with the next season, knowing that we had a murder in season 1, and the murder is resolved, right? And it's not something that's going to loom over the entire series like,
Nope.
Pretty Little Liars did with their murder for a few seasons. But like going into season 2, you kind of need some kind of mystery to go forward. And an attempted murder, I think, is better than a murder. Because I don't want the format to just be repeated over and over and over again of every season you expect a murder mystery. Yep.
So we already know that Hiram's been casted, so he's obviously in for season 2.
Yeah.
We know that Betty's brother's coming. No. Wait. We know that Betty's brother is coming.
Yay.
as well as Polly's baby being born.
Baby.
Babies. And there's still
Sabrina.
talk. There's still talk about Sabrina, but it's neither been confirmed or denied. The possibility is high, but they're still not confirming anything.
They're being super secretive about it.
They are, because I think they are juggling a couple actresses. I think that's the problem right now. They don't know who they're going to cast. Even though we've seen good prospects, we've even talked about, what was her name?
Dove Cameron.
Dove Cameron. I knew the word Dove was in there somewhere. Didn't know if it was her first or last name.
Her last name is Chocolate.
Oh, yummy.
Dove Chocolate.
But yeah, so we got all of those casting things going on, which is interesting. But then, we get a little bit into the gritty where a whole bunch of the characters have darknesses to come out, like Archie's darkness. So he's going to be a little bit more like aggressive because he's pissed off about his dad. And then Jughead goes to he starts going to the dark side. He's starting to be a serpent. With the likeliness of Betty joining in.
I like this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, if we go through this whole season and there's no Sabrina, and Sabrina shows up in the finale of next season, I'm done.
You are not done.
Oh, no, I'm done.
No, you're going to stay.
No.
You're going to stay.
No.
You're going to have to stay because I'm pretty sure by the time next season rolls around, we're going to have a few more slots open in our docket for shows.
No, I'm done.
And then when Sabrina actually shows up, you're going to want to watch it because Sabrina's there.
And when Melissa Joan Hart shows up, you're going to come back.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And the last thing that I found was that Cheryl is going to be relentless against her mother and anybody else. She's like no mercy Cheryl. So she's going to be super powerful. Oh wait, and then, Mr. or Mrs. Lodge trying to take over Riverdale because,
yeah,
they are the powerhouse now, I guess. But that is like the most uninteresting thing for me. I want to see Betty with Jughead, doing serpent things because we know Alice, her mom, was a Southside and
then
a serpent slut.
The Mrs. Sandry is going to be like, I am so proud of you for once.
Maybe we'll see Betty dye her hair or something.
This is her lashing out at her mom, and it's gonna be I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this.
I just thought of something really funny. We need a scene of Betty dyeing her hair black to the song "Oh Black Betty, Bam Lam."
Please do that.
That'd be amazing.
That would be great.
Damn thing went wild.
So,
Bam Lam.
That love triangle that the Archie comics are really, really popular for?
Yeah.
Apparently that's coming around too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, but...
We saw a bit of Archie.
Yeah.
And Betty talking a little bit about the fact that that Ronnie and Archie
are dating. The real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while I don't like Archie with anybody, really,
okay.
I think Archie and Ronnie are a pretty. I think she brings out the best in Archie sometimes, and I think if Archie stays with Ronnie and Ronnie stays on the straight and narrow path, this could be good for Archie. Maybe Archie can go through a character arc, an actual good character arc, and maybe I won't hate him as much.
I mean, I think this whole prospect of him being a little bit more aggressive and just darker in the next season adds a little bit more to him because maybe he'll start thinking things through instead of just acting.
No, this is the problem
writing
with
death metal songs.
See, the problem with Archie
Yeah.
See, Archie does think. It's bad when he does, and even if he doesn't think, it's still bad. See, Archie, you're just fucking stupid. It's your problem.
Archie starts writing Marilyn Manson songs.
Fucking God.
I would be okay with that.
No, I will fucking slit my wrist. And not in a good way.
I mean, that leaves open now for speculation talk.
Yay. Speculation talk. This love triangle. I am not looking forward to it because I don't like love triangles unless they're done right. And
They're never done right.
But you know what? Sandra Dee doesn't seem all that interested in Archie anymore, but it feels like Archie is developing some feelings for Sandra Dee, even though he said there weren't any. Which is, I think that's how you are going to fix it.
I literally hope he stays the fuck away from Betty and Jughead.
I want him, but he's not going to because he's Archie.
Yeah.
It's only if Betty and Jughead push away from each other that I see him interfering. I don't see him getting between them while they're happy.
Well, he's very much their soulmates, which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so Archie grow a fucking brain and a heart.
What is he, the entire Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Yes. He's the Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Cowardly Lion put into one.
No, see the problem with he doesn't even have courage. He's just stupid. But hopefully next season we are going to see a change in Archie, and I think if the writers do watch this show, you'll know that we have a problem with Archie. So
yeah, very clearly.
We make it very clear that he is a.
So on the off chance you guys are watching, fucking fix it.
Make the weakest character on the show a little bit stronger, please.
Yeah.
It's just his attitude.
Make Sabrina stronger.
Just make Sabrina. Just put her in. And switch them to. Make Archie the one that we're speculating about, and make Sabrina the main character.
Turn Archie into Salem.
There we go.
Turn Kevin into Salem, because Salem is basically Kevin, the cat.
Why would we want to do that?
I don't know. You wouldn't want to, but I'm just saying, if you were to turn somebody into Salem, it would be Kevin.
Okay.
Turn Fred into Salem.
That's how we save him.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, there you go. So I thought Salem was a powerful wizard.
He was, and then...
And exactly, so who's to say Kevin isn't?
Salem could be anybody they want Salem to be.
Mm-hmm. So who had the speculation about Hermione?
Oh, I did. So because we saw Hermione just have a total shift in character, she went to character slaughter this episode. I'm thinking that maybe Hiram isn't that bad. And all the shit that everyone's talking about was Hermione's doing. And we had the honey cabbages talking about maybe we should have put Hermione in jail instead of Hiram. And maybe they were onto something. Maybe all this shit that everyone is talking about was actually Hermione behind the scenes, and Hiram was just like
the fall guy,
her scapegoat.
Yeah.
And knowing that he was in jail, and he had taken the fall, she just laid back and was like, yeah, I can just keep doing the shady stuff, but I don't know. I see it. Because, a lot of the female characters, like the parents in this series, they do have that. They're on that podium. They're the top of their family. Like Penelope seemed like she was calling a lot of the shots, and obviously Alice has a power problem with Hal. Like Hal just seems like he has no balls. It does seem like it is a possibility that Hermione was or still is the one that's been calling on the shots.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had a couple of theories. That one was one of them. Another one was, for some reason, I guess it doesn't make sense in my head anymore, because I started to think that she's actually scared of him. Of Herm. So she's like kind of like the battered woman kind of disease kind of thing. So she turns into. Okay. So now that she knows that he's coming home, she's being super like, oh, everything's got to be perfect, because when he comes home, I don't want him to beat me.
he might have not hurt her like physically, but he might have done a lot of mental abuse on her,
Yeah.
and that's why she's acting this way. That's very possible. I mean, that's probably one of the tropes we haven't seen yet in this series.
Yeah.
So I mean that was one of my that was one of my ideas. Not to mention like the whole thing with the whole town just ignoring all of the shit that happened. I was like, I wonder if there was maybe a supernatural thing to that. Like maybe there's something in the town just for that to happen. You know,
There's something in the maple syrup.
Yeah, exactly. Something just changes everyone's personalities randomly and.
But there is something in the maple syrup.
Okay, other than drugs.
I love that we joked about that for so long.
It was real.
It's true, we really did. We did a lot of it.
It's like, what is there, crack in the maple syrup? And yep,
Lo and behold,
pretty much.
But heroin for the rich people.
Yeah.
Because you know that's a classy drug. They're trying to be bougie.
I mean, I'm actually looking forward to season 2 as far as Cheryl goes. Like this whole season leading up to the end, we're like, oh man, she's one of those, typical mean girls. Oh, I hate her character. And then we get to see her breaking down as things go along. Like we get to actually start seeing her human side. And now she's just crazy. And I want to know where the hell this is going. Yeah.
I think her character changed more than any other character in the show. Other than our, like, she progressively changed instead of like Hermione that like.
Yeah.
But I mean.
Well, she's gone through the most character growth because people like Sandra Dee and Jughead have gone through character growth, but like it was like minor changes that they had to fix because they had problems and they fixed them. The thing, and that's character development. But the thing about Miss Honeycabbage is hers was gradual. Like we saw her like each episode, like she was the mean girl, but then we saw like little glimpses of like that human side and how sometimes she would, sometimes talk to Veronica as if, Veronica was her friend, but she's not. And we learn more about her and like how she thinks, and we see a lot of her family life. So like at the beginning of this season, I didn't expect like that from Miss Honeycabbage. Come to find out, she's one of my favorite characters now. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with her, like, and if she's going to come back from this. She's kind of like Brooke. I think I like Brooke.
Oh my god.
On Scream.
Well, I like Brooke because Brooke is awesome. Like Brooke never lost that bitchy side. But when she did it, she was only bitchy to people who were bitchy to her. You know what I mean?
When that show first started, I hated her. Like I couldn't remember her name. I just called her the bitch. For the longest time.
It's so funny how that happens, though.
Miss Honeycabbage is still a bitch.
You start off hating a character, and then they really grow on you because you see their character growth. You get to learn about them, and it's not just that cookie cutter character trope sitting in front of you anymore. They're an actual character. Except for Archie.
Well, we saw a lot. We saw a lot from Archie, and he didn't fucking learn a damn thing.
No, he was the same in the beginning as he was in the end. He just went through a lot of girls to get there, and
every time we hoped that he would do the right thing, he'd turn around and do something stupid.
And even when you're trying to do the right thing, you fuck it up. Try to do the right thing, you fuck up your hand.
I want to see more of the serpents in the South Side. Definitely, that seems like a dynamic that I would really, really like to see them flesh out because we only got a glimpse of it. And like FP said, they don't deal in the big stuff. 3-ounce baggies of marijuana. That's all they do. So, I mean, everybody else is chalking them up to be a big bad group of people, but FP's like, nah, they're good. They're fine. They're just whatever.
They're just small town thugs. Is what it pretty much sounds like.
And they got a cool ass name to go with it, so we sound intimidating, but we don't do a damn thing.
Pretty much.
They seem interesting, and I honestly didn't know that Riverdale was big enough to have 2 high schools. But apparently it does.
It
they have the
like
Richie High School.
Yeah, it sounds like the South Side is just like a different district in Riverdale.
They
See,
have
like,
the good part of the Richie nice part of Rivendell, and then they have the where all of the gangs hang out.
Well, you have one really nice house over here, but that house is gone.
yeah, it got burned up.
Everything surrounding that house is, where everyone else lives, and then there's the south side. It's down that way.
See,
the other side of the tracks.
I was
Other side of the-
comparing Riverdale to my hometown, where we had an elementary, a middle school, and a high school. That's it.
Everybody goes to sing, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It was that's how Riverdale was kind of laid out. So to find out that there was another high school was a big surprise to me. So I want to see more of the dynamic in that school.
For all we know, though, is the town might actually be called Southside. It might not actually be Riverdale.
Oh, it might be, and yeah, it could be another, like, two cities put together.
Yeah, like the town below them just could be Southside, and they just call it the Southside. Like.
All right.
I don't know for sure, but if it was completely different town, that would make a little more sense to me.
Of course. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I didn't expect Riverdale to be that big. Because you see their town meetings and like their jubilee. It was just like a gymnasium full of people. So I didn't expect it to be like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we can also think. We say that Greendale is across the other side of the river. How do we not know that like all of these cities are kind of like little towns that are all kind of together? So Greendale could technically be connected to like the south side or the other side of, even though it's across the river. I mean, it technically could be like there's a bridge and then the other town just starts. And
a bridge made of ice.
Down the river.
Over the river and through the woods.
To grandmother's house we go.
To Sabrina's house we go. It's the only thing I want for next season. That's all I'm asking for. If that's too much to ask for, then you've lost a. I won't say a faithful, devoted fan, but you've lost a intrigued fan.
They said the possibility is high that she's going to be in next season.
That's a possibility.
Exactly.
So the possibility is high that I may continue to watch. Writers.
But the reason why they're saying the possibility is high now is because they're working on the script for season 2. Like they're trying to figure things out for season 2. So they still got to cast Sabrina and all that stuff. So it's like they're saying high possibility now because they can't confirm or deny for us because they don't know what they're doing.
I know. I don't know if I'm watching next season. They need to get their stuff together. Let me know.
So when they get their stuff together, when they start promoting for season 2, they'll probably say, "Oh, hey, we've casted Sabrina.
Yay!
Oh, hey, this is what's coming," and they're gonna give us a little bit more with previews and stuff. So we just gotta wait. And I don't know if Riverdale's gonna be slotted for a spring show again. So I'm kind of hoping they keep it in the spring slot because they kind of did this with iZombie where they
throw it around.
They put it in the spring slot for season 1 and it's all fine and dandy and then they're like, oh, guess what? Season 2 is starting in the fall. That gave us like what? Not even 3 months.
I'm gonna be really, really upset if this show goes from a 13 episode show to a 22 episode show.
They didn't say anything about that.
I want it to stay 13 episodes. I prefer shorter series. I really do.
And see, we had the same.
If it warrants for a 22 episode, then I'm fine with it. If you can actually fill those episodes with substance,
can't.
You're gonna be doing a lot of like okay. So here's my thought process. Okay, I know I watch a lot of Asian drama, but Chinese dramas are so long. They're like 50-something episodes. And like, it's like, oh my God, you could have done this in like 20. Why?
It's literally to milk the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
That's how TV works. Like, because this show may do really well and the CW's like, guys, we want more episodes out of you, But then you go and look at other networks, like HBO, and HBO only orders 10 to 12 episode seasons. Because they want everything to be amazing, right?
Yes.
And they want the full story panned out, done well with no slowdown, no fillers, no anything, which you get in a lot of these 22 episode shows. But at the same time, certain ones of these shows can do it. Certain ones can pull it off. Supernatural is one that we deal with, and a lot of their quote unquote filler episodes are the most fun, right? And without that, we wouldn't have some of these really insane, off the wall side plot stories that most
we had
fans
a few
remember more
seasons-
than the main story. You know,
We did have some few seasons where the fillers were pretty dumb.
Well, yeah.
but-
Yeah.
I'm not saying every season's gold or anything like that, but some shows can get away with having more episodes and having filler episodes and being fine with it. Other shows, they worry me. In a show, a format like this, a murder mystery kind of, like any kind of mystery show, when you start dragging it out to 20 episodes, 22 episodes, something like that, you're going to start going off into like this weird territory. You're just like, why are you doing these storylines,
See, I have faith that Riverdale will stay in the short format because, I think CW is actually catching on that, the shorter seasons are easier to deal with. You get more of the content out there, the information that you want the viewers to see. And we kind of had this fear with iZombie when it first came out. We're like, oh, we really like it with 13 to 16 episodes. And we went in season 2, like, please be short. And it was. And season 3 is the same. They kept it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they might do the same thing with Riverdale because of what it is.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I don't think there's any reason to drag this show out at all.
No.
I'm not saying that the ratings are still good and everything, but every episode has content. We don't have filler episodes in the show at all. And I think for this show, that's the route to take.
Yeah.
Even if episodes that don't deal with the murder.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of these episodes, if you think about it, didn't deal with the murder at all.
No.
But they were still good episodes because they were
Right.
character episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we got too many filler episodes, like I decided to push this to like 20 whatever something episodes. If we got a lot of filler episodes, we'd hate certain characters, like for instance Archie even more because we'd be getting more just stupid. They were like,
The only show that I really can justify for saying that absolutely 100% needed 22 to 23 episodes every single season was Lost, because they had about a 22 to 23 member cast, so when you start doing the spin-off episodes where one is about each member, stuff like that, then you kind of needed that. But that was really the only show I could say 100% needed that many episodes. Everything else I think can get away with doing much less, and I think would be better off doing less. Less is more. Mm-hmm.
So saying that, what are you looking forward to most? Out of the things I said that is definitely coming for season 2, what are you most excited for?
The possibility of Sabrina.
The darker side of Jughead and Betty together.
Still waiting on this Josie and the Pussycats Scooby-Doo crossover. That's all I'm thinking about. I don't know. It's just because this show did so well with its source material, and Scooby-Doo has a comic too, a fucking weird ass post-apocalyptic comic, but you could do that. I would just like to imagine that the Scooby-Doo characters live in this universe, because it feels like they would totally fit in there.
They could.
But they're just and it turns out Coolsville is actually right next to Riverdale. All these small towns, they're just right next to each other.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to more Cheryl, to be honest. I want to see more of her crazy antics.
And what else? See, this is why the tagline for next season should be "Hell comes to Riverdale," because that's what's going to happen. Or maybe, Hell's already here.
Betty did say, how did she say it?
Something wicked this way
comes.
Yes. And maybe that was her talking.
Awesome book and stuff, by the way.
Or maybe that was Sabrina.
Awesome book, awesome movie.
She could be referencing many
everything.
things coming to Riverdale next season.
Everything is about Sabrina.
I hope so. I'm really looking forward to Sabrina joining the cast, especially if they do it next season. And I hope to get a little bit more Polly, too. I know the babies are going to be born and everything, but, I don't think we got to know enough about her character. And I think with, Big Brother coming to town, and there's going to be more of a Cooper dynamic than, say, Blossom.
A Cooper Blossom.
Mhm.
dynamic.
The brother is Sailor.
Or maybe, or maybe the brother isn't, or maybe the brother isn't even a Cooper Blossom. Maybe he's a Jones.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That would make things weird for Jughead, wouldn't
That
no.
means that means Jughead and Betty would share a brother, and that's not that's it. It doesn't complicate things, but it's still kind of weird.
Well,
it's
I mean-
weird, but it doesn't make them related, though.
It doesn't.
Kind of.
It does.
Not like by
Well,
blood.
no, they're not by blood and not through marriage either. They're not related at all.
Mm.
It makes them cousin-in-laws.
In-laws, it's completely different.
No, that would see. Well, but they're not in-laws either because nobody's married.
Yeah. The only way they become in like anything is if Jughead and Betty got married.
I really don't want to figure out Riverdale's family tree right now, because that is one. It's more like the root system of a tree instead of the actual tree, because you know how roots can intertwine and shit.
Yeah,
So-
Sandra Dee and Jughead do not share a parent. That's
There is no relation there at all.
exactly.
Sabrina.
Sabrina's related. She's the one that makes everybody related to everybody.
It's gonna be like, what is it? 7. How's that go? The levels to whoever one character. Can't remember how it works.
The 7 layers of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What?
You never heard of that?
I don't think so, but
It's
So it'll be the seven-
you can find out how the entire actor and actress database is linked to Kevin Bacon by like how far apart they've been from movies. So like if Harrison Ford was never in a movie with Kevin Bacon, but Harrison Ford was in a movie with Shia LaBeouf and Kevin Bacon was in a movie with Shia LaBeouf, they are once removed from Kevin Bacon. It's you know.
okay.
So, yeah, so you get it now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
Okay.
all 7 layers of Sabrina.
Okay, we're going down the rabbit hole. Let's not.
I mean, that's everything I got to say about this and this episode and next season. So
we need more Kevin because he was barely in this episode.
Kevin Bacon.
When more Jonquil. Is Jonquil coming back?
maybe we might see him,
See,
especially
I like to think he got on this bus and the bus just goes around Riverdale, so it dropped him off at the same spot that he left at. He's like, oh shit.
Or he
I
went to
figure
Greendale.
I figure that he saw that everything is all safe at home, so he came back, and we'll see him again because
Or
we
he-
are
No,
going
he's
to
in Greendale. He's in Greendale.
He's in Coolsville. It's right down the street.
I can see him in Coolsville. Yeah. So I mean, that's all I got, and so
Nana Rose, we need you and your badassness riding on your vacuum cleaner. See, the wheelchair is also a vacuum cleaner while she rolls across the house.
is it also
It's
a
like-
lawnmower?
It's like a Roomba.
Yeah, it's like,
Nana Rose Roomba.
Hey,
She
I guess that
she rides
works.
on a mop.
I'm gonna start calling her that. Nana Roomba.
Nana-
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
dust
still gonna call her
buster.
Nana Rose.
and with that, I think we're done for tonight. And wow, we'll see you definitely next season. But Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me and all my giggles and gore and monsters and mayhem here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar or at ASOTV, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the week, throughout the life at TwoNowhereLand. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Kim?
On the Twitters at HUFFITY, PUFFITY.
Stop.
At Phenomenon. Do 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 do.
And you can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24. You can find us and more here on YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. Also on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and just, you know, like I said, Google. Just type us in and we'll be somewhere. We will definitely be covering Season 2 of Riverdale. We don't know when it's coming back, and we don't really know much more about that, but we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Shout out to Brian Chat.
Yeah, Brian.
Thank you for joining us, Brian. And Sabrina.
Sabrina's in the chat too.
She's
just
the
not
observer.
not
Yeah,
singing.
she's observing.
Nana Roomba.